So this is up on one of the hills in York, and in Noongar language this hill is called Wongboral, and what Wongboral means is sleeping woman. The other hill, which is in York, is the bigger hill, and we call that hill Waiwaling, and it means a place of pain or hurt, and really that hill is called, well, really refers to as the man's hill. So the two hills, there's a significant dreaming story. I have come up here all my life, and it's a place for me to come up and think and reflect. As a child, I would come up here and would love to look out over one of the hills at the back of us, which people know here in the town as Mount Matilda, but we always called it the Wargles Hill as kids, because as little kids, our family, usually my father, would tell me the story of how the Wargle came up out of the river. He travelled and he came up and created those hills and land formations. I know that that's the track of that dreaming story that my father told me. So I always had that as a child, and when he told us stories, or me, I know when I would sit and listen, he always liked me to be able to see the land formations. So if he's telling me the dreaming story of the Wargle coming out of the river, then I needed to either be near the river, we were near the river, and should be able to see that track on the hill. It was not a story that he would tell us at night time when it was dark or around the fire. We had other stories that were told then, but coming up here, reflecting, it was always something that I thought of and remember, and I still do as I come up here. I usually will look at that hill behind and look at the track and think about the story that was told to me. My aunties would also tell the story, and their story of how they heard that story, and that was passed on to me as well. So many of these dreaming stories were oral, and for me it really is a huge part of my identity and who I am. So going through life, whether I was at school and we rode our bikes up here, wouldn't like to ride my bike up here now, but we'd ride our bikes up here, and I'd often look out there and walk around and look, and again remember the stories. And I did that all through my life. So really this is, you know, who I am, and have a very strong sense of belonging. This is where I belong.